Alright, guys, welcome back. And this time around, I'm going to be covering a game between a Mr. and a Miss. Mr.378 on the right and Miss Jisoo on the left. I guess the title can be a little bit misleading. You'll have to forgive me. Now, Miss Jisoo is subbing HSA. This is week 4 of UUPL. I thought I would cover this game. I think it was executed amazingly. So, why not, right? Why not have a look? This is not a stall game, so you'll definitely enjoy it, right? Okay, so we're off with an interesting lead confrontation here. Mime lead can be a myriad of things, and Electrode is actually quite often played in a very telegraphed way, as it'll set up screens, it probably packs a Miracle Berry, and then it can use Thunder, or threaten to use Thunder, or Thunder Wave, and then explode. Why I say telegraphed is because, well, you can set up both screens without any repercussions, since it's the fastest mon in the game. And oftentimes after that, it will just explode and end the turn, because before Gen 4, any time a mon would faint, the turn would just automatically end. So before the opponent can do anything, they would probably take damage from explosion, and then the turn would end. However, in GSC UU, many newer players are known for using Electrode in a really telegraphed way. So by setting up two screens and then immediately or almost immediately booming, you can really lose very quickly under pressure, and you're actually just going to end up playing 5v6 if the opponent happens to switch into something like Haunter. So that can kind of suck. Mime is extremely unpredictable. It can run pretty much anything. Thief, Encore, Hypnosis, T-Wave, Psychic, Thunder, T-Bolt, fucking Fire Punch, Encore if I didn't already say that, or even Rest and Sleep Talk. Mime leads, depending on what they are, it says a lot about the team. Thief Mime lead will steal lefties, usually trying to target something along the lines of like a Hypno or something that would switch into it. Even Piloswine typically is switching in more and more often to Mime, so taking leftovers away from Piloswine can be a big deal. However, in this scenario, we don't have a Piloswine, and we definitely don't have a mon that would switch out from Mime, so Mr.378 could ideally steal leftovers or do something like that. Maybe attempt to put the thing to sleep. Maybe cripple it with T-Wave if he wants to gamble on the fact that Electrode doesn't pack Miracle Berry. From that point, Jisoo's probably using a boom offense, boom hyper offense, right? A double screens hyper offense team. Mine's team, Mr.378's team can be anything, but it's probably offensive. It could be more or less aggressive, again, depending on whether or not it's Thief and is taking away leftovers. And turn 1, we see Thief. So Mime took the Miracle Berry. Okay? And in comes a Girafarig. So this is the cue. Good on Jisoo to switch out and not be locked into an Encore, but I guess it's already a little bit disadvantageous despite the fact that he switched in. Now, Girafarig can, do things, set up Agility or Amnesia, and then Baton Pass. So that would be beneficial for a Belly Drum Sweeper or a Scyther in the back. Especially behind screens, the Girafarig is in a good position. But instead, no. Jisoo's going to switch right back out, goes to the Electrode, at which point, it could even have been a very good cue to boom there. But, again, doesn't do it. Does not click Thunder. I think it might have been nicer to click Thunder. Just because now that you've set up both of your screens, 378, who's played this tier a lot and has played in past UUPLs, is probably going to try and catch that boom. But instead, Swine stays in. That's still a good play. Goes for the Ice Beam, gets a crit on Mime. Mime, I forgot to mention, Mime can also be a baton passer. That's how unpredictable this thing is. Unfortunately for it, it gets crit right through the screens and takes a whopping 53%. And that's actually going to be a big deal, as now the Mime is hard pressed to pass, and it's not going to be able to pass a second time. So the Giraffe Rig is also weakened. In comes Gyarados. We see that the Giraffe Rig has Amnesia, and 99% of the time it's packing Psychic and Agility as well. So the Amnesia means it probably... Okay, I say 99% of the time. I could be wrong here, because I remember seeing the game. But usually you want to have Psychic and not Thunder. So 378 brings in his Phaser, and he's going to roar out the Giraffe Rig. So maybe this Giraffe Rig doesn't have Agility. I think it does. So that would mean it doesn't have Psychic, interestingly enough. Mr. Mime outspeeds Gyarados, forcing it out. So Mime is actually going to have one more chance just to pass a barrier again. As 378 is going to spam his Thunders here on the Giraffe Rig. Giraffe Rig's going to set up Agility, Amnesia, but might have misplayed there. Forgot that Mime used Encore and outspeeds. It would have been better perhaps to use Agility, as you would not have been outsped and could have just baton passed from that point on. Anyways, is that clear? So Mime has 278 speed. Giraffe Rig has 268. So from this point, 378 has done 3 key plays. He has stacked damage, right? He has racked up some damage on his opponent. Put him in a bad position. This Mime shows no lefties, so it's not leftovers. It's probably Miracle Berry. Neither has Giraffe Rig. So probably all 3 of these mons are Miracle Berry. Okay. So stacking up damage is good. The other thing he did was phase with Gyarados in a key moment where a stat could have been passed, and potentially, even without the Agility, Giraffe Rig could have passed Amnesia to a Quagsire, and Quagsire would have been bulky enough to use Belly Drum and defend itself. So he did that. And now he's using Encore. So he's really mixing it up. Unfortunately, though, Thunder's missed, I think, 3 times. And in this turn, as we saw, we haven't seen Agility. Assuming it had Agility, it could have passed. It would have been faster by the end of turn 12. Instead, it wasn't, because it's at 268 speed. So the following turn, Mr. 378 just has to react, and he's just going to click Encore. So a little teeny misplay there, as now the Giraffe Rig can't really do anything. In comes Electrode. Electrode is not going to boom on a Gyarados. At the very worst, he's probably going to click Thunder. But he's going to set up those screens and take advantage of that turn there. And in comes Granbull. So now, fourth answer to Baton Pass. This is why I think this game is excellent. Because Baton Pass it's like a subgroup, right? It's a subgroup of Hyper Offense, as it plays in a very specific way. And if you can thwart the baton passers or the sweepers, then the other half of the team becomes relatively useless. Now, one of the best mons at handling full baton pass teams is usually Granbull, as he's able to completely disregard attack and defense boosts of his opponent by virtue of it using Curse. So with Curse, he can just disregard any setup and start racking up. And why can he do that? Because he's probably going to be bulkier than the opponent is going to be, even if it does have Reflect. And sometimes it has Rest and Sleep Talk, so it can even gain its HP back. I'm telling you, +1 Granbull is a huge ass threat to a Quagsire, even if it's slower. So, if Quagsire is at max attack, it doesn't manage to OHKO a +1 Granbull. So that's why it's such a huge deal. It's not free. It's not a free victory. And there you go. There's yet a fourth Miracle Berry user. I think Jisoo might have gone down a little too hard on those Miracle Berries. It's not be all end all. It helped, but as you can see, it still got thwarted by the Lovely Kiss. Is not going to wake up, and Granbull's slowly gaining HP back. Now Trode can boom, but he's probably going to set up those screens. It's not really that important. Now he booms. So 378 catches the Electrode boom, and he's up 6. Oh, there you go. So he's up 6v4. 6v4 by the end of this turn here. Haunter is a massive threat. The Mime on Jisoo's end is weakened as fuck, and it's also not going to be able to withstand EQ even after a barrier, I'm pretty sure. So there's that. So the only thing really left to take care of are either the Belly Drum Sweepers or the Baton Passers. So, and Haunter can explode on either Mime or Giraffe Rig as he outspeeds them both. And that's exactly what 378 is going to do. He's going to do it despite the Reflect. And now that his Mime is in, Giraffe Rig can't Baton Pass. He can't pull off a setup because it's slower. So he's actually going to kill it with Thief. That's pretty brazy. And in comes Quag. Now, Quag is still pretty nice, and it's behind a Reflect, which helps, but yeah, Mime is a special attacker, so it can't go for a Belly Drum there. So he went for an EQ. And there is the second EQ. And a nice predict there from Jisoo, but 378 at this point is looking quite dominant despite being down 2. He's still up versus, now the Quagsire has been put to sleep. It's basically 4v1 at this point. So in comes Politoed. Politoed comes in and takes 42%. Politoed is the second belly drummer of the team, packing Lovely Kiss. Granbull is put to sleep. And now, potentially... Okay. Alright. Fair enough. That was not a bad play from Jisoo there. So, potentially, Politoed could have used Belly Drum. However, Quillfish is faster and can use Haze, nullifying the Belly Drum. So it was good on him to switch to his Psychic, or her. Sorry, I may have misgendered. I apologize. In comes Pylo, which is a huge-ass threat. It's going to break the Mime. And at this point, it's really just make or break. So you're going to have to pull something off. Outspeed the Pylo. Hope maybe that you get a nice little crit. I don't know. You got to do something. So you could even... Well, you can't Belly Drum because 378 is definitely going to attack. So you can just attack yourself. So wow, even with a crit that wouldn't have OHKO'd. Just goes to show you how thick Piloswine is. Piloswine, again, not gonna rest. No point resting. And there you go. So 378 played this excellently. He has really shown how to thwart Baton Bass in GSC underused. Really good game. I've seen some other players play well, but they've struggled versus the likes of Georgie. So who knows? Maybe we'll see an interesting game in the future of 378 versus Georgie. I don't know. That said, I want to say that I won't be covering. I have no promises that I'm going to be covering any UUPL games in the future. So if you enjoyed, consider, subscribing. I have my own personal Discord, and I like to share ideas of the videos I make. So hope you enjoyed. Peace.